Warning: the following podcast contains strong language which some listeners may find offensive.
It's New Year's Eve. You know what that means. Hello, welcome to the Untitled Wrestling Podcast End of Year Awards. Fuck off 2020. The season's over there.
Put it in the cupboard. Let it go stale.
We've all can agree it's been a bit of a shitty year.
Apart from the start of this amazing podcast.
Apart from that, there was a light in the darkness, which was this podcast being born. But we decided we wanted to kind of like honour some of the good stuff and the bad in wrestling. So we got 15 categories. We took the polls to Twitter. We're going to discuss the picks and the people that we nominated, and then we'll reveal what Twitter have said and see whether we actually agree with it or not. So, how are we, fellas? First of all, I've not actually introduced anyone. I'm Jay, joined by Troy, Aaron, and Big Tasty. We're all wearing ties because it's a monumentous occasion.
Slick.
I've been up for less than an hour, already on it.
On the sauce.
lads.
You Maverick. I'm on the coffee. I'm on the coffee for now until we hit up the quiz later.
I'm on the Fanta for now. It's a long day. It's New Year's Eve, mate. You've got to pace yourself.
Exactly.
During the quiz, I'll be speaking English.
When you get to my age, Aaron, you've got to take it slow.
Yeah.
This is my last day of being
people during the quiz later
tomorrow. So
the quiz is not going to go well later on.
Oh Christ!
Quiz is gonna be great. If you listen to this after the fact, we are hosting our end of year quiz at 2 p.m. It's currently 12:15, so we are very close. I've got some tinnies in the fridge, which we'll be cracking out later as well. So yeah.
Also, happy birthday tomorrow to Big Tasty.
Yes,
yeah. Well, I got a nice early birthday present, which was the government telling me I need to stay in my house for 4 days. So
motherfuckers.
So just even if I didn't, I mean, I had plans for tomorrow. I had a table booked in a restaurant, obviously, but Liverpool went to tier 3, so that was ruined anyway. Yeah. So even if I did have plans, I couldn't do them anyway. So
fucking think yourself lucky, mate. Tier 4 over here.
Yeah, at least Matt Hancock fucked me before self-isolation did.
Should we get on?
Yeah, so our first category we're going to talk about was the most improved. So those, as the rules state, there's 4 picks. We all made the pick each. And as I say, we took to Twitter, see what they said. So the picks are, I had Cameron Grimes.
No, you had Cameron Grimes.
I haven't had the coffee yet and my voice is very sore.
Oh, fucking hell.
To the moon.
Aaron's lubed up, it's fine.
Yeah. I'm guessing Big Tasty put the Dark Order.
I did indeed, yep.
Aaron put Jacob Fatu and Troy put Lana.
Oh.
So, yeah, tell us why you picked who you picked.
I'll go first. Not many people know Jacob Fatu. He needs the fucking everyone to know who he is. Everyone should know who he is.
Mate, the most overrated category is coming up in a bit. Most underrated, sorry, he's coming up in a bit. I think you put him in the wrong one here.
Jacob Fatu is a scary, scary man. And if you say otherwise that he shouldn't be in this category, you're getting smacked by a frying pan hand.
Do you like Umaga? You'll love Jacob Fatu.
Exactly.
Umaga.
Because he's literally just Umaga too.
Yeah.
Surprised Aaron didn't draft Umaga, actually.
He did?
I did. I did.
Did he?
What, Umaga?
Jacob.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry he didn't draft actual Umaga. He's well into dead wrestlers.
Half of your roster was fucking deceased.
Or retired.
Or retired.
Yeah, so I'll I'll do mine next. I had Cameron Grant.
Correct.
To the moon. I think he's had a really good year in NXT. He went from being like kind of just squashing people with the cave-in on shows to actually doing like character work, and he obviously he's like kisses Regal's ass all the time, and he's a sniveling little shit, and he's just great, and he's got better wrestling as well. Like he's doing more like sort of technical stuff, and he's looking really good. I think he's got a big upside in NXT. Obviously, he's just been sidelined with a minor knee injury, but hopefully he'll be back better than ever in 2021. Yeah,
fingers crossed, man. He is good. Really, really good.
Yeah, I did very nearly pick Roman for this because of his heel work. But I thought Grimes had like an actual like good hold.
Yeah, but I feel like Roman's always been at that level. It's just like the booking's finally caught up with him.
Yeah.
He's not like the most improved. He's like the most well booked, as opposed to how badly he was booked.
I think we all avoided Roman as well because he's in more categories, not just this one.
Yeah, true.
Well, I saw something on Twitter, and it was basically like the character he was trying to do in NXT before like he got put in the Shield, and it's basically what he's doing now.
Oh, really?
So we've been sitting on like a prototype of this for a while.
Are you saying the Shield ruined Roman Reigns' career?
No. I'm saying
that's
like
a
this.
fucking bold statement.
That's the hottest of takes. That's a taste so hot. I can cook breakfast on it.
You said that.
That's something drunk me would say.
No, drunk you have put your hair up against Roman Reigns losing. You're dafty. Troy, you had Lana. What say you?
There were loads that I could have picked for this. But I remember at the start of the year thinking, well, actually, not even start of the year, even last year, just being like, Lana's tosh. There's no need for her to be here. Like, she's just awful in the ring. And you can genuinely see over certainly the last couple of months, that whole feud with Nia Jax, that she's been working. And actually, the only thing I was tired about seeing with Lana is her getting put through a table. I didn't mind watching her in the ring. She's really, really up to game. And I think in a division where they're not really asked about the women's division, like when it comes to booking, like it's just piss poor booking. And if she can stand out and show herself as someone that's actually improving and has actually kind of like hungry for competition and to prove themselves, she's managing to do it, and she's stuck out to me as someone that's done that.
Considering this is a year where her husband left the company, and it would have been so easy for her to just become a useless piece of nothing. Basically, it was just, for a lot of people in a lot of people's minds, she was literally just there to look attractive while her husband walked the ring.
Yeah,
for a large part of her career, and for her to sort of reinvent herself as a legitimate competitive wrestler. I think it's taken a lot of time and effort and skill and that said, she still does win matches by accident. So
yeah, there's that.
Yeah, she'd been training with Natalia, hadn't she? And she'd like done like a few like sort of Owen Hart spots here and there, which I picked up on, which was like, okay, yeah, she's
Is that something you want to boast about? Being trained by Natalia?
Natalia's a good wrestler. She's just a fucking
second generation.
She's like the women's division version of Dolph, where she's good, but she's been booked that badly over the last like fucking decade that you just stop caring about it, don't you?
Yeah.
Literally had a gimmick where she farted.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
That's Dolph's next one. He'll steal that as well. So, out of that, I can tell you that...
Oh, hang on.
Oh, hang about.
Dark Order.
Considering what we saw last night, I think it's about time you let me speak about the Dark Order. I think I can make a fairly strong case that no group in wrestling, or no collection in wrestling has had a turnaround in the last 12 months that is anywhere close to the Dark Order. We have gone from fake punches, and you all know what I mean when I say that, and literally the butt of the memes. They've gone from that to being one of the most over groups in professional wrestling, thanks to I mean, this is kind of, I put this on the list primarily. I had to put a Brody Lee bit in here somewhere, and this is a testament to the work of Brody Lee. He was offered a singles push in AEW. He turned it down. He said, "No, I want to be in the Dark Order. I see something in them. I want to raise them up. I want to make them better than they are." And look what both he and they have achieved in 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
They're the most over thing on the roster. They're killing it on BTE. You know, they're getting chance. They're selling merch. You know, they're doing it all.
There was a really nice story I saw where a lot of the guys from like the Dark Order had said that he actually bought them all new gear, like out of his own pocket, just to kind of make them look more like stars.
He spent $1,000 on John Silver's gear. He gave him his jacket. He gave 10 his jacket. He wore it, double or nothing.
Yeah, and he got it like tailored,
yeah.
Yeah, very, very, very cool. They have definitely improved a hell of a lot.
Yeah,
gone from being buried by Chuck Taylor and called Spooky Perverts to now being like at one point like
Drunk orgies.
Well, yeah, no, they've gone back. They've gone back to being like goofy as fuck now by Evil Uno asking the Hangman if he wants to join his dark orgy. But yeah, even that, like them being allowed to be a little bit more comedic, and Brody Lee being like the teacher figure, sort of, and like telling them to stop being fucking dickheads. It's just great.
It just fleshed them out, and it's given them so much personality. And like, I couldn't tell you who any of them were at the start of the year, and now I know everything about all of them. You know, I know who's who.
That's straight up bullshit, Big Tasty. You knew Evil Uno and Stu Grayson.
I knew them, but I mean all the creepy, sexy pervert ones. You know, the little
sex
zombies.
goblins.
Yeah, the little sex goblins. Well, they're all gone now. They've been replaced by like big jacked guys with
like
meaty men.
Yeah.
Alan Angels, Preston Vance, and Anna Jay are all trainees of QT Marshall School. That is, in part AEW's like version of the PC, isn't it?
Well, that all came about when they couldn't book anyone during the pandemic. They had to like film in QT's gym basically, and they were like, right, who you got hanging around who can do a job?
Alan Angels saw the fucking house down with Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Had a really good match with him.
And then there he is last night, looking after Brody's kid all throughout the show. Like, you know, what a top guy.
Who won then?
So yeah,
I
think
it was the fucking landslide.
Really?
So Lana got 4% of the votes. Jacob Fatu and Cameron Grimes got 11% of the vote each, and Dark Order got 74%.
Fucking hell!
So
wow.
I mean,
there's a lot of people.
I think that's a deserved victory for the work and the memory of Brody Lee there. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also I think as well, the Dark Order, like as we've said, they did like show massive improvement. I mean, at time recording, there was the Brody Lee tribute show last night, and everyone in the Dark Order brought it last night. They like brought it to like a new level of what they can do. They've shown how good they all are.
Anna Jay like legit shocked me last night with how good she's become.
Yeah, Anna Jay's improved so much. I'm kind of sad that she wasn't in that that award thing, but she was under the Dark Order banner. But yeah,
awesome.
Next, we've got Breakout Star, so the person who's really kind of shot to prominence.
This was a tough one.
This was a tough one.
This was really tough.
Yeah.
I think, Aaron, did you pick that?
I put John Silver.
Yeah. Okay. Aaron picked John Silver. Troy picked Shotzi Blackheart. Big Tasty picked Ricky Starks. Absolute Ricky Starks, my bad.
Absolute Ricky Starks.
What a guy. I love Ricky Starks. And I picked Pat McAfee.
Okay. Do you want to justify why you chose him?
I think
I'll go first. He's had 2 matches, both were fucking brilliant. He cuts a better promo than almost anyone in NXT, and he didn't look out of place in the ring. Like,
agree.
Usually when you get someone like that who like goes in the ring, and the big one for me that kind of sort of like makes me think of that is when we've had like celebrities like
Stephen
Snooki
Amell.
and that.
Snooki.
And, no, Stephen Amell.
Stephen Amell was good.
I think
to be fair,
the list
yeah.
of people who've looked good in the ring has been Pat
Slim.
McAfee and Stephen Amell, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mayweather was all right.
All he had to do was break Big Show's nose. He didn't have a hard job, did he?
Yeah. No, he went when Big Show was standing on his hand and all that. And
That's
Sally was
true.
out.
I'm thinking back to the days of Pac-Man Jones being the TNA
Well,
tag team
yeah,
champion.
that was the one that comes to mind, to be honest.
Good grief.
Where he wasn't allowed to actually wrestle, so he'd stand on the apron while R-Truth did everything. But yeah, he's looked incredible. Like, his match with Adam Cole was genuinely a really good match.
Yeah, it was.
And then War Games as well was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And he shone in both of them, in my opinion. I thought he was... Well, I went from thinking he's either going to be really shit to really good to being like, oh my God, I didn't think he was going to be this good.
Mm.
And then that shows why he should have been the pick I made.
One of the best
Straight up
promos
there.
in wrestling as well.
Yeah,
Easily.
he's really strong.
He's very good. Very, very
Considering
good.
all he used to do was kick a ball. I mean, he didn't even play football; he just kicked the ball. He wasn't even like a physical player. He just literally come on, kicked it, and walked up again. You know.
Woo,
Yeah,
that's
and
ridiculous.
he just gets it.
Yeah, and you
So-
can tell this all comes from a passion for pro wrestling as well. It's not just another career. It's not just a bit of cash for him. It's not just a career move. It's literally something he didn't have to do this. He's got NFL money. You know, he just literally said, "No, I love wrestling. I want to be involved in it,
Yeah,
and I want
that's
to
awesome.
make Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch relevant."
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
Fair
Which
play
in
to that.
itself, well done him.
Cool. Okay.
Ben, you had absolute Ricky Starks.
Absolutely, Ricky Starks. Absolutely, pun intended. I had no idea who this guy was 12 months ago, and now every time he's not on TV, I find myself asking, "Where's Ricky Starks?"
Fair enough.
He's almost addictive to watch on the screen. Like, whatever he's doing, if he's wrestling, he's one of the best Christmas guys in the ring. If he's on the mic, you're hanging on his every word. For him to come out of for me absolute obscurity, and this is shown by the position he's in AEW. He's gone straight to the top of the card. He is, as we discussed the other day, he's de facto mouthpiece of Team Taz now. He does all the talking. He cuts all the promos.
He was
does it.
meant to only be in for one night as well.
Yeah, he literally came in as a challenger for Cody's TNT
Yeah,
title, I think.
the open challenge thing. Yeah.
And they obviously they took one look at him and was like, "Fuck this! This guy needs to say."
Well, he'd been putting out his own like vignettes and stuff beforehand on Twitter, and he was producing and writing all of those and getting someone to film it for him to try and get recognised, because he said he didn't want to be in NWA too much longer, like maybe another 6 to 8 months or something, but knew he wanted to do something else, and he was putting out. But he also said the day that he got a call from Cody to say, you know, do you want to come on board? WWE rang and were like, oh, we've seen you and we're interested. And he's like, oh, isn't that coincidental? So he's like, clearly WWE are watching AEW to know what I'm about. So yeah, he's awesome.
Well, yeah, he had a really good year in NWA as well, to be fair. Like, he was their first TV champion when they brought it back. He won like the tournament. And he had three like really good, really different matches. When he lost it, it was quite a shocker. Because at the time it was like, well, they're only really scratching the surface with him. So I kind of had a feeling he was leaving when he lost it. And then it turned out, his contract was up. And he showed up in AEW like literally like 2 weeks later, and I absolutely lost my shit.
I mean, he did kind of bounce around a bit as a face without a purpose for it, but now he's sort of becomes a heel. I think he's really found his feet.
Yeah,
he's got that heel rock sort of.
He's a natural heel. Like
they had him, prick.
Yeah, they had him doing that in NWA, but as a face, and it was like, well, he's a little dickhead. Why am I meant to
Why
like
am I
him?
supposed to like him? Yeah.
And think he's like this fucking white meat baby face when he's clearly a little bastard.
Also, I have to say, we don't have a category for it, but if there was a best dressed category, he would comfortably win that.
Oh, fucking yeah. We'll put it in for next year.
He has the most ridiculously cool outfits.
Attire of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who else we got?
Aaron? John Silver?
John Silver, I don't really need to say much else about him, because we spoke about the Dark Order. Apart from, if you've not watched BT, go watch it. It's absolutely fantastic. Silver's a standout on it every single week. Currently, as of recording, BT champion.
John Silver is your new favorite wrestler. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah. Go watch BT and
yeah,
you'll see why.
that doesn't even like go to like his ring work where he's literally he reminds me of Daniel Bryan a bit, the way he wrestles. Like he's quite explosive.
We literally got Orange Cassidy versus John Silver on the last pay-per-view, and it was fantastic.
And it got moved from the pre-show to the main show, just by the virtue of like fan favor and fan pressure.
Yeah. Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And if you ever thought you wouldn't enjoy watching two men with skills at war, he can make something like that entertaining.
Yeah. Also, Chris Jericho said he's like a human cigarette machine, which made me laugh. And last but not least, Troy, you had Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, man. I just like everything about her. She's what like a gimmick in wrestling is. Like she knows what she's about, and she's absolutely sticking to it. And NXT and the writers and stuff are playing into that, and they're allowing her kind of freedom. And the whole Halloween Havoc thing with her hosting it, and she really stood out there. Her in-ring work is awesome. Every time I watch her, I'm kind of compelled. I'm like, what's she going to do next? And we're always just like, oh, she's tried to kill herself again in this match. And she's done this awful bumble, this horrible spot. But she's just really, really good. Hasn't had a bad match. And I think it's only a matter of time before they put the belt on her. She's already had a match with Io Shirai earlier this year, which was fucking excellent. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see her NXT Women's Champion by this summer.
Yeah. She reminds me a lot of Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. She's quite unconventional in like her moveset and her offense. It isn't the kind of that standard thing. Like she'll contort and throw herself about in ways that are just really weird to see, but like I say, really compelling because you're like, well, how's she going to hit this person next, or what's she going to do when she's up the top rope, top turnbuckle? Like, how's she going to throw herself off? And like the fact that they allow her to enter come down the ramp in a fucking tank. Like, they've clearly got stock invested in the girl.
Controlled chaos.
You always know someone's really good in NXT and like they're really special when you don't want them to go up to the main roster. Like, critically badly.
Yeah.
It's like, no, she needs to do all the cool shit here first. If she is ever going to move up, like.
And then we'll be more upset when she does go to me.
When she gets Aleister Black in about 2 years' time.
God.
It's told to dye her hair brown.
Please don't prove me wrong, please.
She's coming out in like full commando gear. It's just think she's army girl.
God.
So yeah, the voting. This one was it was a little bit closer, but it was still quite like a unanimous decision by the fan base here. So 15% Shotzi Blackheart.
Motherfuckers.
16% absolute Ricky Starks.
Travesty.
19% Pat McAfee. And 50% of the vote went to that fucking child, John Silver.
We'll let him know. He can hang that next to his BT title.
Did somebody say little bitch?
Somebody say little bitch!
Congratulations to the Untitled Wrestling Podcast 2020 breakout star, John Silver.
Yes, indeed.
Richly deserved. Going the meat man himself.
Meat man himself. The best boy.
Emphasis on boy.
I am keeping a tally of how many we win, by the way. All of us win.
Oh, I see.
We've got a tally. It's a competition now.
I said Dark Order for the first one. Does that mean anything Dark Order related? I also get a credit.
No, just the
category. Next, we've got the most shocking moment. So this one was there was a lot of shocking moments, and there was some that we didn't even put down on here, which would have made the list.
I mean, when you only get a choice of one each, it's very difficult to pick for each category. I
think there was a few that probably would have been like at least one or two of our number two, mainly Sting debuting with AEW. That did not make the cut. Also, Randy Orton setting Bray Wyatt on fire. That didn't make the cut. But the four we've gone for here, I picked Brody Lee squashing Cody for the TNT title. I think Aaron picked Edge returning.
I've got Edge returning Rumble. Yeah. Obviously, it's got a big place in my heart because I was there live. But
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Where are you, mate?
We've never speak about it a lot. At that time, I got goosebumps.
Yeah. He absolutely murdered Dolph with a spear as well.
Yep.
We've got Troy picked Roman turning heel, and Big Tasty picked Kenny Omega turning heel and fleeing to Impact Wrestling. Big Tasty, start us off. Why'd you go for that one?
Well, if you
There's a word in there that I get the impression as why, but
what's that?
There's a word in there that I get the impression as why. Omega.
Impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's because this was in my mind. We don't quite know how this is gonna all spin out. It's still in its very early stages of developing. We know that Kenny's wrestling on the next Impact pay-per-view, which in itself is an enormous what the fuck moment. This was the wrestling equivalent of that bit at the end of Iron Man where Nick Fury steps out of the shadow and says, "Hey mate, do you want to be in the Avengers?" Effectively. This is just the door getting kicked in of kayfabe and of the cinematic universe and everything. This is the possibilities. Literally, if you judge each one of these moments by what happened on Twitter afterwards, then this is the easy winner. Yeah. Because you've got Impact wrestlers tweeting AEW wrestlers proposing dream matches. You've got fans going nuts. You've got journalists not knowing what the fuck's happening. This was like, you can't even describe what this felt like to witness live.
Mm. Yeah. And then we've got Aaron. Tell us about Edge.
Edge returning. Go back and watch it. As soon as it went, you think you know me. Everyone exploded. All 49,000 people in that arena went absolutely fucking nuts.
I screamed like a fucking child when that happened. Honestly, the video that I've got from when we were there, I recorded it and I sent it to my girlfriend and she was like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? You sound like a girl at a Boyzone concert." Like absolute fucking pandemonium.
It's a testament to how good it was as well, in the sense that it had been alluded to it might happen.
Yeah.
Months earlier when he hit a spear on Elias, and he flat out denied it every time, and he was like, no, trust me, no, it's not happening. To the point where I started thinking, all right, well, he's probably working us, but
that was on the SummerSlam pre-show, so that was 6 months beforehand.
Yeah. But then Meltzer had been reporting pretty much from solidly from September. Oh yeah, Edge is coming back. And Edge was like, "Look, it's bollocks. Why would you trust him anyway?"
He's a blurt.
And it got to the point where I was genuinely thinking, all right, he said it too much now that I think he could be working everybody. Maybe he's just genuinely no, look, I'd love to, but no, it's not happening. So then when it did happen, I absolutely lost it. And that's a testament to how cool a moment it was. The fact that even though I had an inkling it might happen, when it did, I was still forgot about everything.
This didn't know that it might happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good choice.
I don't think I could necessarily say it was the most shocking moment of the year because, like Joe said, there was a lot of suggestion that it might be occurring. However, I mean, it was certainly the most concentrated burst of pure joy I felt all year.
Yeah.
And it was just because something's not completely out of left field doesn't mean it can't capture you and drag you along with the momentum of it, and I think this proved it. I lost. The Rumble's one of the few, or before this podcast started, the Rumble was one of the few shows I always made sure to catch live because I love the format and everything.
Yeah.
When that music hit, it was 2, 3 in the morning. I lost my shit, in my living room.
Yeah. I wanted to put that, and I was going to put that, but I figured Aaron was going to put it.
It was going to be one of us putting it anyway.
Yeah.
It was going to be one of the two of us.
Yeah. So. It was definitely on my list as well, to put down. And then Aaron voted first, so I'd seen he'd already put up, like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Troy, tell us about Roman's heel turn.
Everyone had been clamoring for it for years, hadn't they? Like, turn Roman heel, turn Roman heel, turn Roman heel. And it happened, but it was weird. Like, it wasn't... I'm trying to think of how to put it. Like, it wasn't shocking. It was more shocking that WWE actually did it. Like, right, and they kind of, whether or not they'd listened to the fans or not that had said he needs to go heel or not. It's just the fact that they were like, oh, okay, it's the first time in a while. It feels like they've made a sensible decision, and they're really, really invested in it. And it's not just a heel turn for the sake of a heel. Like, it's got some real weight behind it. And it was just really clever. Like,
yeah, it's not like a big heel turn. It feels justified, and it feels like it's been followed up on. And yeah, I know what you mean. They've sort of stuck the landing almost, haven't they? And it's not just like a.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah. When he returned as well, obviously the pay-per-view SummerSlam was, the tagline was "You'll never see it coming," and they were literally like hammering that home as much as they physically could. Every time Michael Cole could fucking say it, he would.
Yeah.
And genuinely, I don't think anyone saw Roman returning at that pay-per-view coming.
Nah, no one saw him returning, and no one saw him turning heel.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I chose it.
Very good choice.
Someone proceeded to wind up Troy going, it's only Roman Reigns that night.
Wasn't this like the first time he come back after like lockdown as well?
Yeah.
He pulled out of WrestleMania.
Because of his previous condition.
Compromise.
Yeah, and also his wife had just had twins.
Yeah. So
so it was like a double header of like, he's really in like.
There were many vulnerabilities in his family, so obviously it was.
Protect Rome.
Came back and started a new family as the head of the table.
Yeah, he did. Now he's the head of the family. And my pick was Brody Lee squashing Cody Rhodes. So when this match happened, I was really excited for it for a different reason than what it was, which was I just wanted to see the match. It sounded like it was going to be good. There was a lot of really good build up to it, where Brody Lee was like, he come on the screen with like the old TNT title, and obviously Cody had like the new like diamond encrusted one, and he was holding it and saying like, oh yeah, I've got this, I'll give it back to you, Cody, when we wrestle. And the way Cody's booked in AEW, I've been quite critical of it myself, where it's like, it can be kind of like very much like Cena was back in like 2008 when he was like beating everybody, and it was like, sometimes you kind of need to let someone else win. That didn't happen with this. Brody Lee come out and absolutely beat the shit out of him for 3 minutes and like murdered him with a discus clothesline and won the belt. And then the real shocking thing was after the match, where like the Dark Order come out, they drag Cody onto the stage. I think he clotheslines Cody on the stage again. They drag out Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall.
They drag Cody off the stretcher that he's being.
That's right. Yeah, he's getting stretchered out, and they drag him off the stretcher, and then
he does his little Cody thumbs up to the crowd. Like he's dead, like trying to be the dead gallant. And then Dark Order rip him off the stretcher, brutally clotheslines him, chucks the stretcher over the place.
Yeah,
he hits him with a bag which has got like the old bits of the old belt in, and like knocks him the fuck out.
That's cool.
He pours it over his down body. And Brandy's checking on him at one point. Anna Jay chokes out Brandy. It was just like, and this ended. This ended like the episode of Dynamite, but also one thing that gets overlooked: it went head to head with a takeover.
Really?
Dynamite had been moved that week, so it was literally on, and it was takeover in your house.
This was after they had late night Dynamite in the week, didn't they? And then they had the show after the Saturday after.
So I don't think it was like directly head to head. I think it was like they start at the same time, and obviously Takeover went a little bit longer. But like literally, I thought fuck it, yeah, I am pre-taped, and they actually did a really smart thing where they leaked spoilers, but they were fakes.
Oh, okay.
So they'd acted like Cody had retained, and there was like this big long fucking match,
like a proper Cody match, like a 20-minute.
Yeah,
like this point. Cody has like 25-minute matches, 20-25-minute matches where he pulls it out in the end and he hits a couple of crossroads and he gets the pin. And he's done that to so many people like Jungle Boy and this and that. And this was the first time that Cody had. It wasn't the first time Cody had lost a match. Obviously, he lost to Jericho, he lost to MJF, etc., etc. But this is the first time that Cody had been made to look like a punk ass bitch.
Little bitch.
And also, it was the first time the Dark Order really looked like a legitimate threat to everybody. And it was one of the most like lasting like visuals at the end of a show. Like I remember watching it, like going, "Fucking hell, I'm gonna have to watch Takeover now," and like try and like get out of the shock of that. And yeah, that it was just a really, really cool moment. So yeah, that's why I went for it.
Sweet.
This fan vote was a lot closer than the others. So
I expected one to run away with this.
Well, I don't think it's the one you expect to run away with it, to be honest. This is the first like real surprise for me. So 16% Omega Fleece to Impact.
Okay.
20% Roman's heel turn. 27% was Edge.
Oh,
And 37% was Brody squashing Cody.
fair enough.
That's well earned. That's well
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been my pick had you not picked it already. So
Wow.
Yeah, it was the equivalent, like AEW's version of Brock squashing Cena.
yeah,
Oh,
I mean
so
we talked
like-
we talked on the Brody podcast, didn't we? Me and you, Jay, about how
Yeah.
that gave us AEW's first like genuinely what the fuck moment of like
Yeah.
history.
Sweet.
Yeah. And it, as I say, it like was the first, like it was like kind of like the cherry on top of the cake of really like legitimizing the Dark Order as being a credible threat to everybody. Yeah, very, very well deserved indeed. After this, we've got Best Feud. So I had Roman and Jey Uso. I think Aaron had Cody and Brody Lee.
Yep.
Big Tasty had Eddie Kingston and John Moxley. Obviously. And Troy had Randy Orton and Edge. I'll go first this time. So I went for Roman and Jey Uso. At the time when the match was booked, I remember thinking, what the hell's going on? Why is Jey Uso being booked as like a fucking world champion contender? He's just a tag team wrestler. Yeah. How wrong was I? This feud was incredible. It was like a fucking Scorsese film, like the way the promos were.
Yeah.
Roman just like berating Jey and saying, "Oh yeah, if you don't fall in line, I'm going to kick you out the family and I'm going to make sure the whole family shuns you." Referring to himself as head of the table. Jey refusing, Jimmy throwing the towel in for Jey in the first match, and then in the I Quit match, Jey literally refusing to quit to the point where I thought he's going to beat Roman here. And then Roman choking out Jimmy, so Jey quits. Having Afa and Seeker on the stage and like kind of passing the right to him. And now Jey falling in line with Roman and like turning heel and being like a sort of like henchman. The whole feud from start, I'd say to finish, it doesn't feel like it's quite over yet, but from the beginning has been compelling, and it's easily for me been like the best thing WWE have been putting on TV every week.
Yeah, agreed.
I genuinely look forward to seeing what Roman's going to do every week. For me, he's become probably what WWE wanted him to become years ago when they were trying to force him down everyone's throat. And it shows like how if you change a character, it can really like kind of refresh them and make them feel like something completely different.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my pick. Troy, tell us about Randy Orton and Edge.
Well, obviously we saw that there's, before anything that's happened this year, there's obviously loads of history between them and with them as a tag team and against each other, etc., from years gone by. And we saw that rekindled slightly at the Rumble when they had that interaction when Edge first came back. And I think a few people thought it and said it like, you know, oh, at some point down the line, there's obviously going to be a match between them. Or we see like Rated RKO come back, but that's not the last of, you know, interactions between them. And so their moment in the Rumble was really, really cool. And then Edge coming out, cutting a promo, kind of announcing, yes, he's kind of cleared properly and he's back. And then Randy kind of going, I say not going full heel, like going heel, but not to kind of the extent we saw against like Drew McIntyre this year, but like sowing the seeds on that, which is when, for me, like Randy Orton's best heel work started this year, was within this Edge feud, and it built and built and built. I know their greatest match ever wasn't the greatest match ever, but it was fun.
It was like an homage to like different styles and things.
Yeah,
it was like a one
really
big
fun.
mega mix.
Yeah,
is what it was.
Yeah, I still think it was a really good match. So
I thought it was also. I really, really enjoyed it. And obviously their match at Mania went on for quite a while. But again, like it was really good. It was really enjoyable. And they didn't need match after match or pay-per-view after pay-per-view to tell the story. They did that within the promos. They did that with all the build-up in between. And it culminated in those two big lengthy matches. And yeah, it was really interesting to see what they were going to do next. It kept me hooked. And it was up until Roman turning heel was the most compelling thing for me on WWE TV, like watching.
Yeah, Randy Orton's character work's been fantastic this year.
Yeah,
couldn't agree more. Ben, talk about Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, please, mate.
Okay, so first of all, this was, we talked about this a lot on the podcast this year. This was a feud that sort of popped out of nowhere as like a sort of weird, like extra filler, because as people might not know, Moxley was supposed to have a feud with Lance Archer. Lance Archer had to self-isolate because someone he knew tested positive for coronavirus, and so they needed like a sort of to plug the gap with something. And so, when you're looking around for what you've got on the shelf to fill in, and you see Eddie Kingston sitting there, you're in pretty good shape. So this was basically just a really good feud. It was some world-class promo work from both guys. This is where Moxley really elevated his promo game up to like a new level. Kingston, I think, is one of the best promos in the business. And they had two really excellent, brutal matches as well to sort of bookend it. So this whole feud started with Eddie Kingston claiming that he didn't get eliminated from a battle royal, so he got put into a title picture. Then they cut these promos because they've known each other for like 20 years, and it was all about how Moxley went on and sold Eddie out and went on to become like a WWE superstar and left all the boys behind. And Eddie Kingston it was just fantastic. He was going on about how he had to make himself this horrible person to survive, and Moxley couldn't save him. And the final match was Moxley choked him out with his arm wrapped in barbed wire, which was absolutely fucking excellent. So yeah, that's my pick.
Nice.
Good choice. Aaron, Cody and Brody, please.
Again, more Dark Order talk. We don't really need to go on. We spoke about Cody versus Brody, the match that Cody gets absolutely annihilated. You had the dog collar match as well afterwards, which would be Brody Lee's last match, I believe, for AEW. Yeah. Just that whole rivalry is just absolutely fantastic.
His dog collar promo was one of the best promos of the year.
Yeah. There you go.
Nice.
Okay. Well, I'll rattle through this one. Something ran away with it again. 14% Randy Orton and Edge. 18% Kingston and Moxley. 23% Roman and Jay. And 45% Cody and Brody.
Bloody hell.
Brody Lee sweeping the board.
Sweeping the board, man.
Yeah.
E-dub.
Next, we've got worst show and events. So I picked WWE Extreme Rules.
I'm sorry, Jake, do you mean the horror show?
The horror show. Literally tagged horror show.
Yeah.
Proper shit.
Troy picked Money in the Bank. Big Tasty picked AEW All Out. And Aaron picked WWE Super Showdown.
Yeah.
I'll say my bit about Extreme Rules now. Swamp fight, eye for an eye, get in the bin. There we go. That's all I need to say.
So for me, Super Showdown, there was one positive in this card. Yeah, one.
Goldberg buried the
positive,
theme.
which was Undertaker winning that Tawhite Trophy or what? Tawhite Trophy Gauntlet,
2K?
where he replaced
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio. after being attacked by the club.
That was it.
That was it, because the rest you've got Seth and Murphy as Street Profits. Basically, seen that so many times. There's a lot of matches we've seen so many times before on the weeks prior. Lesnar versus Ricochet, that was pants.
That could have been and should have been a hell of a lot better than it was.
Yeah. And Goldberg versus The Fiend.
Fuck right, all the way off.
For the whole 2 minutes and 56 seconds it lasted.
No, thank you. Ben, AEW All Out?
Yeah, nice and quick. It was a Matt Hardy thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, they killed the momentum of the show.
I watched it with you and yours, Jay, and it was one of them where we just couldn't get back into the show after that. It was too weird. It was stupid, isn't it? It was like I mean I love wrestling. I don't want to see a guy nearly fucking die. Like have a guy get legit concussed and then make him climb up a fucking scaffold to jump off it. No, not for me.
Yeah, me and the missus watched it together.
AEW made very few missteps this year, but this was definitely one of them.
Yeah,
fair enough.
And Troy, Money in the Bank.
Oh, I like Money in the Bank as a concept and as a match, and I think it's really cool. And actually, I was really invested in the idea that they were doing something different with it this year. But I think I wasn't disappointed with the women's winner. I was disappointed with the men's winner. I think that was poop. And there were at least 2 or 3 other guys in that match that were a hell of a lot more deserving. Apart from the Money in the Bank matches, everything else in that card was absolute shit. And even the end of the matches, the Money in the Bank matches, were poorly executed. I wanted to put Extreme Rules because I thought that was hot trash. And for me, it was easily the worst of the year, but you'd already put it. So, yeah, Money in the Bank.
The second worst.
Extreme Rules is the only show of the year I've been, like, legitimately angry about watching.
Yeah.
And, like, to the point where I was up all night because I was fucking angry. And, like, I end up, like, just, like, sitting up all night. I, like, fucking stew and go, can't believe they're putting this shit out. What the fuck are they doing? This one, again, we had a clear winner, but it wasn't as clear as it could have been. Money in the Bank got 4%.
Wow.
The horror show at Extreme Rules got 15%. Shocking.
Fucking hell.
I thought that would have fucking ran away with it.
Yeah.
All Out got 31%.
Oh.
And Super Showdown got 50% of the votes.
Jesus.
Everyone.
I mean, that was a Saudi show, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was in February.
You can tack on an extra 20% just for that.
Everyone is very upset about the Fiend. So then from worst, we'll go to best. I had Survivor Series. I think Aaron had Revolution.
Yeah, I did Revolution.
Troy had WrestleMania, and Big Tasty had Double or Nothing. Survivor Series, I'll quickly go through my reasoning. Aaron shaved his head. It was funny. Also,
the end.
also Drew vs Roman and New Day vs Street Profits were both like legitimate match of the year contenders. The men's Survivor Series match was really fun as well, and the Undertaker send off was nice. Big Tasty, Double or Nothing, go.
One of the most fun show I watched all year. So you had Brian Cage debuting in the Casino Battle Royale, in the Casino Ladder match, which was great. Legitimately good surprise. You had MJF putting on a surprisingly great match with Jungle Boy. You had Dustin Rhodes paddling Sean Spears' bare ass, which is always entertaining. Hikaru Shida had a classic with Nyla Rose, probably the best women's match AEW have ever put on. John Moxley choking out Brody Lee, which is a fantastic match, probably the first good match of Moxley's title reign, the first one being against Jake Hager. We don't talk about that. And then the Stadium Stampede match to finish, which was beautiful. So yeah,
insane.
For me, the most pure entertainment that I got out of any one show I watched this year.
Cool. Troy, Mania.
5-5 Funhouse match and the Boneyard match. It's 2 cinematic matches that were fucking superb. Really, really enjoyed both of them. I love the whole theme of Mania, and it's a real shame they didn't get to do it in the Raymond James Stadium because the whole pirate thing I thought was awesome. I loved all of that. Yeah, it was cool. Like, given the circumstance, like, I still think they did well to put it on. I know a lot of people, us included, took the piss and said, it's over 2 nights. What the fuck are they doing? But then I remember having conversations with people a year before going, why don't they make WrestleMania 2 nights? And as soon as they did it, people pissed and whinged. I thought it was good.
I thought that it was refreshing that it was 2 nights.
Yeah.
It felt more manageable over being over 2 nights.
Yeah.
But it did have a lot of Gronk though.
It did.
Yeah.
That's the only downside for me is there was a lot of Gronk. Everything else, though, I thought was really...
And Charlotte beating Rhea.
And Corbin Elias.
All right.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. Good
That was
match.
good. That was very good. To be fair, Charlotte and Rhea was a good match. It was just the wrong person.
The wrong person won. Yeah.
Never bet against the Queen Boys.
Everything by the last 3 seconds of the match was great.
And last but certainly not least, Aaron, tell us about Revolution.
Revolution, Darby Allin versus Sammy. Great match for the whole 5 minutes that it lasted. Like, it was a quick match. It was hard hitting, fast.
But when you move that quick, you don't need a lot of time, to be fair.
Omega and Page beat the Bucks in what could be considered match of the year.
But not on our list.
Not on our list.
Controversial.
The finish of the rivalry of MJF and Cody. That match. Pac beating Orange Cassidy, and Orange Cassidy's like first big.
It was his debut, wasn't it?
His in-ring.
There you go. His in-ring debut against Pac, and that was a sleeper match of the night, which woke everyone up. And then the main event, obviously, Jon Moxley winning the AEW title against Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's go through this. 7% Survivor Series.
Ooh.
22% Mania. 23% Double or Nothing.
Oh.
And 48% AEW Revolution.
I love it. The AEW marks are out for this. I love it.
I think Aaron's rigged the vote, to be
I
honest.
think Aaron's just set up like 50 fake Twitter accounts.
Loads of burner accounts like Dolphin69.
I'll give it that Revolution was a great show.
Revolution was an awesome show. Right, we'll go to most underrated now. So, Ben, did you have Sammy Guevara?
I will take. I don't think I put anyone in this, but for the purposes of this list, I will take Sammy Guevara. Yeah.
Aaron had Dolph, obviously. I had Timothy Thatcher, and Troy had Jey Uso. Tell us about Jey Uso, Troy.
You touched on it earlier when you said, what the hell's Jey Uso doing in a world title match? And absolutely surprised everyone by
when he won that fatal 4-way, like everyone.
That was awesome on his
it was
own.
mental.
It was fucking mental. And then to put him in that, and then to see where it went, and I don't think a lot of people gave him enough credit for how good he is and how good he can turn out to be as a singles guy. Everything he's done with Roman basically speaks for itself, and I think a lot of people forgot or slept on Jey Uso, and he's really, really proved this year just how good he can be.
Yeah, wrestling's at its best when it like challenges your opinions almost and like pushes you, and like to go from what the fuck is he doing in this feud to the Hell in a Cell match, where not only do you think, wow, he could win this, but you actually really want him to win this.
Yeah,
no argument from me there. Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I'm going to address the sort of ill thought out podcast comments aside, which he was rightfully reprimanded for.
Yeah.
Sammy's got it all. He can go all the way to the top. He can. I mean, he's one of those guys. He just kind of. He's not a big. I don't think he's a big ego. He doesn't push himself. He doesn't politic. He doesn't clamor for the main event spot. He's happy to go sit in the tag matches and sit in the group shots. But then every time you see him in the ring, you think, "Fuck me, this guy can really go." Like super go.
I'd also consider him most underrated because this year he's been sort of just in the inner circle. He's not really done much his own, really. He's just there with the inner circle. He still has good matches and things, but
he lost his tag spot with Jericho when he got suspended, which he never really got back. As well as Sex Gods, and they were having a fantastic little show in as a tag team.
The Sex Gods, fuck me.
But he's done. I mean, he's done some great work with Matt Hardy as well. Like that cinematic match was really good fun.
Yeah.
Every time he just gets in the ring, you just realize how good of an athlete he is. The stuff he can do. If he was in a lesser promotion, he'd be a top guy.
Yeah.
Whereas in AEW, he's just on the back burner. He's one for the future. They're just keeping him warm. You know what I mean?
I think he is literally
for a few with Jericho.
Yeah, he is literally under Jericho's arm right now. Really, just
nice.
Yeah. Aaron,
right.
Keep Dolph to like a minute.
Yeah, I get a lot of stick for liking Dolph. He's a very, very good wrestler. Like,
Time's up.
You
Oh, joke,
can't-
go on.
you can't not give him that. Like, all year he's made, as much as that horror show was a shit show, like, the matches compared to the rest was semi-decent with Drew. Compared to the rest of the show.
Was that was a... Oh, no, that was that show. Sorry,
Yeah. He made Mansoor look like an absolute god at fucking Super Showdown. He made Edge's first spear, even though no one really seen it until a few weeks after, like look like $1 million. Like, everything he does, he makes the other person look so good. And I'm hoping Bobby Roode does get like a little push from like being with Dolph like after the team's done, but
Dolph's like the go-to guy to, like you say, to make someone look good or to kind of ignite a feud. Like when Kofi was champion, and
Dolph was the first guy.
Exactly, Drew was champion. Decent match of him. Like
he's like this generation's version of like what they used to use Mr. Perfect for.
yeah,
Go to the stars, basically.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like
can
the
I
mid-card
get a
guy.
snippet of what Jay just said there, just so I can have it on? But
Well, no, it's just talking about his role. I'm not saying he's Mr. Perfect. He thinks he is. And Shawn Michaels and
Billy
every
Gunn.
other fucking good, yeah. But yeah, he's no argument. I've never said he's not a good wrestler. I just think you hold him a little bit too high. My pick's Timothy Thatcher. He's just awesome, and he's just like an old school like shooter.
Yeah.
He's got like he's willing to like literally get his fucking teeth knocked out in a match. And I just love him. I think he's brilliant. I think his promo work really good. Like, and that really flies under the radar as well. Like the way when he's talking, it's just different from everybody else. Like he's almost like, again, like a fucking teacher, the way he talks.
Yeah.
Like when Ciampa was asking him about like him getting attacked the other week, he was like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, oh, yeah, he's really good. I think he's going to have a really good 2021. It feels like he's being kind of positioned as similar role to what I've just said about Dolph, like where he's like a good pair of hands to kind of like help like make somebody look good.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what Thatcher's role is in NXT at the moment. This was a really close one, actually. Jey Uso got 16%. Thatcher and Sammy both got 24%.
nah, give me it, give me it.
Thatcher won. No, Dolph got 36%. Twist the thing, Dolph's the most underrated.
Fucking hell. What's going on?
He's here to show the world. Here to show the world. Come on, bring it on.
Moving swiftly on, we'll go to most overrated. I wish I had to put Dolph in this now. To put him back down on his fucking where he belongs. So Aaron picked Undertaker, obviously. I picked Goldberg. Big Tasty, I think, picked The Fiend.
Yep.
And Troy picked Kenny Omega. So all very divisive picks there. So I'll just say Goldberg. It doesn't. It's cool seeing him come back and like spear people. Like when he had that match with Dolph, that's what he should be using him for. Just have him come back to put like some little shit in the place. Don't have him come back and bury your fucking champion that you're trying to build up.
Yep.
And like they literally had like lightning in a bottle with The Fiend, and then he lost all his mystique and all his aura when Goldberg beat him in 3 minutes.
They had to bring Cena back for Mania to like make him relevant again, to make him feel like a big thing.
Yeah.
And that's basically why I picked Goldberg. Tell us why you picked Undertaker, Aaron.
He's had 2 matches this year. 2? Yeah, 2 matches. One was the trophy where he
That wasn't really a match, was it?
It wasn't really a match. He came in,
Didn't even take his fucking coat off.
didn't take his coat off, choke
Let his hand,
slammed,
didn't he?
choke slammed AJ, 1, 2, 3, bang. Didn't even acknowledge that he won the trophy. Just walked straight past it.
Give a fuck about that trophy.
And in Mania, it was a cinematic match. Like, it was a great match. I'm not disrespecting that, but it was just the fact, like, basically every match Undertaker has, it's the other person that makes him like look $1,000, whereas Undertaker gets a lot of the fucking praise for no reason.
It's a very controversial opinion. Troy, why have you gone for Kenny Omega?
He's just really over. I must be one of the very few people that just doesn't really get Kenny Omega. Like,
you know who else does?
think-
Jim Cornette.
I've watched a few of his matches, and he's all right, but people go on like he's literally the best thing in the world, and he's not. He's just fucking no, not for me. Really not. For
Aaron's
me.
having heart palpitations there.
I don't get it. It's just, it's really over the top.
To be fair, like Kenny took a while for me to kind of like, sort of like, not get, but you know, like sit, like kind of go, okay, yeah, he's really good. He's not my favorite wrestler.
Maybe
I get it.
Watch enough AEW to appreciate it. Maybe
he's only really sort of scratching the surface with his character.
Maybe I've not watched enough of his stuff from New Japan, but from what I've seen, I don't get what the hype is.
The thing is, with New Japan, you already know the result of the Okada Omega matches, so you're going to sit through like 4 hours of wrestling at these two guys, and you already know the results. So
the thing is, I didn't know. I was told to watch it because I was told these two are awesome. They'll have a really good match. I knew nothing about them going into it, so I didn't know the result or anything like that. And yeah, I enjoyed it, but I still, I don't know. It's just not for me.
The thing with Kenny Omega is you can't really watch like one match of his. Like he kind of like he'll build a story up over a series of matches, and that's why he's so good. So if you just like cherry picking one match to watch, it's like, well, it's good, but it's like it's more meaningful. Kind of like Ciampa and Gargano, the way they had spots that were like happening in every match that were like a callback to the match previously and stuff like that.
It's like watching an action scene in the middle of a film without watching the rest of the film. You don't get the build up. You don't get like the sort of the reason why it's there or what's happening.
But my counter argument to that would be, if he's that good, why shouldn't I should be able to watch one match and instantly go, yep, I can see why he's that good.
Fair play.
Like I get the whole he's building up over a storyline and over time and stuff, and that's good. But if you're a casual fan and you haven't got that time to invest in watching fucking 10 weeks of build up in a few days and you just want to find out what he's all about, if he doesn't catch you in one match, then it's hard to understand why there's so much hype.
That's true. That's fair. That's a fair point. Big Tasty, why have you gone for the Fiend?
He's just done, isn't he? You know.
That's a shame. My heart's breaking here.
He's just done. He's just done. He's just at it. He's like, how many times do we need to see him get absolutely ridiculed and squashed? It's like bad guys are only scary when they win, and the Fiend never wins.
As soon as they made it a thing that he goes every time the camera's close to his face, it just sort of ruins it a bit.
Plus, I mean, I love Bray. I think his character work is fantastic. He does nothing for me in the ring at all.
Fair enough.
This one was another runaway.
A runaway.
7% The Undertaker. 14% The Fiend. 17% Kenneth Omega, and 62% Goldberg.
Fucking hell.
The internet hates Goldberg.
And Goldberg beat the Fiend, which in a way justifies my selection.
True. Yeah.
I'll allow it. Next, we've got best. I've put best promo or talker, because I didn't have room to kind of put like stuff in.
All of us didn't have specific promos. It was just a person.
Me and Troy had specific promos, and you and Ben didn't. You and Ben just had like a person. There was a promo that we talked about before, the Brody Lee one, before the dog collar match, which I kind of wish I'd put, but oh well. So Aaron had MJF just as a talker. I had Roman Reigns' promo work, like leading up to his match with Jay at Clash of Champions, when he was talking about like basically kicking him out from like the family and all that. Big Tasty had Eddie Kingston, and Troy had Edge's return promo after the Rumble. I'll go dead quick with Roman because I've already spoke about it. It was like a Scorsese film, like some of the stuff that he was coming out with. He was like, his character is like he's a crime lord now. And yeah, the whole thing of like the way he's like, he puts emphasis on saying, like, make them understand, and I'm going to kick you out the family. And he puts emphasis on the right things, and it really adds like a gravity to what he's saying. And I just think his promo work's been like incredible this year.
Yeah.
Why did you have Edge, Troy?
Because it's just fucking awesome to see him back on TV. And
Nice, wasn't it?
Whilst Troy was lying in his hotel bed getting room service hungover.
didn't have time to come down to the bar and watch this nonsense. I was fucked. Yeah, just the fact that you kind of knew that, okay, well, he's returned to the rump. This is part of something bigger. It's not just a one and done. And that promo for me was like the fire and the passion. It captured me emotionally in the same way it did for his retirement speech, because it was just the excitement to know that he was back and what was going to be next. And you could tell that it meant absolutely everything to him.
And it was real as well. Like, this was a guy who never got to end on his own terms.
Yeah.
Coming back to write the final chapter for himself.
Yeah.
You know, which doesn't happen a lot in this business. You know, a lot of guys go away very suddenly, as you know, we've seen recently. But Edge gets to come back and have a shot at the fairy tale ending, which is
Yeah.
The whole thing with, as well as him saying like it's on his terms, was really nice, like a really nice touch.
Yeah.
Ben, I know you can talk about this.
I'll keep it brief.
Eddie
Eddie Kingston, very specifically, some of the best promos this year. The promo he cut against Cody at the Open Challenge, which is the one where everyone sort of just looked up and went, "Whoa, the fuck's going on here? This is different." And then there was all the promos he cut in this feud with Moxley, which were absolutely staggering, talking about like how he literally had to become a person he hated in order to survive in the business. And it's, you know, this is a guy who legitimately had to sell his wrestling boots to pay his mortgage while the lockdown was on. And then he got a shot in AEW, and he got a steady job. And he's lived his gimmick basically. He's been down with nothing, and he's built himself back up. And then even last night on the Brody Tribute show, the message he delivered to Brody's kids was it made me full cry. Like, you know, someone posted last night on the internet on a watch along that they were quite concerned about how easily Eddie Kingston can manipulate their emotional state. And I fully agree, because that man can reduce me to flat tears in about 5 seconds. You know, that's a special talent.
Yeah,
he's brilliant. And Aaron, you had MJF.
Just as soon as the title of Best Promo was on, I just thought, who's been consistent all year? Like, not standouts, because every single thing he does on the mic is amazing, so there's nothing standout in particular.
I mean, Lieutenant Debonair was a step above.
Well, no for me, but for everyone else, the Dinner Debonair
won a literal award, mate.
Yeah, but just in general, MJF all year, against Cody on the mic, consistent, even against Jericho before he was actually in the Inner Circle, consistent.
The political campaign thing he did with Mox as well.
Yeah.
There you go, yeah.
To like crown himself number one contender was fantastic.
It's just some of the most intelligent promo work, like the little details he puts in, and like he's always very careful that it's consistent and that it makes sense, and you know.
For a guy that's in the wrestling business and is the same age as me, that is ridiculous to be that consistent on the mic.
Yeah.
So this one was a little bit, well, something did run away with it, but there was two that were close. So 7% Edge, 11% Roman, 30% MJF, and 52% of the vote goes to Eddie Kingston, which very well.
I mean, I will say, if you weight percentage of vote against age and like length of career, then that's no slight on MJF whatsoever.
Yeah, MJF has been ridiculous.
Kingston's the best, but he's been doing it for 25 years. So, you know.
Yeah.
Next, we have match of the year. So I picked FTR versus the Young Bucks. Aaron picked the Firefly Funhouse match. Big Taste. What?
You're right.
And Courtney's like breaking stuff in the.
right.
I don't know what's going on.
I thought I'd like read the wrong kick. Then I was
Something's
like,
just
what?
exploded in the bathroom.
Oh, fair enough.
Are you okay, dearest? Yeah.
Yeah, so I had FTR Young Bucks. I had Firefly Funhouse match. Big Tasty had the Stadium Stampede match, and Troy had Volta versus Ilya Dragunov. Honorable mentions also go to Hangman and Kenny versus the Young Bucks.
A-Kid versus Trent Seven.
Boyard match.
I want to throw in last
A-Kid
night
versus Trent Seven.
Silver Reynolds and Hangman versus Proud and Powerful and Jeff, because that was a banger.
I'd like an honourable mention to the sleeper match that was Ospreay and Takahashi at last year's Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah,
Very
last
start
year.
of the year.
Oh, the start
this
of the
year.
year. Oh, okay.
The start of this year, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The very beginning of this year.
Let's start with Ben. Stadium Stampede.
Okay, so I spoke about this, I think, when we talked about AEW's first year. So if anyone isn't aware, the Stadium Stampede match was a match. So AEW meant to be doing a sort of War Games style match. It was meant to be the Elite versus the Inner Circle. It was called Blood and Guts. It was going to be, like a more classical War Games, every film cage, whatever. That didn't happen. They sort of postponed it because they wanted it to happen in front of fans. And as the year rolled on, it became obvious that it wasn't going to be possible to do that kind of match. So this was the first example, I think, of a company actually turning the lockdown situation to their advantage. They basically looked around and said, what have we got? Well, we've got a big amphitheatre which we're filming, and then next to it we've got a giant football stadium. Let's just have a cinematic match in the football stadium. Chris Jericho credits himself with inventing this. I don't know if he actually did or whether it was a sort of community thing or committee thing. It was fantastic. It was a cinematic match, but it took place in like multiple locations, but they were all linked, so people crossed over into like almost different sets, and it just you have to watch it about 3 or 4 times to get all of the references and the jokes and like the things that were happening.
If you've seen a bird's eye view of where they were all fighting, I'm pretty sure you would probably get like half a mile, quarter of a mile's distance in between some of the spots.
There was Hangman rode a horse around. Like there was multiple. Sammy Guevara got chased by a car again. Hangman and Jake Hager had a bar fight, like a legit like Jackie Chan style bar fight. There was so many references and little in jokes, and Matt Hardy was fantastic. Like, this is what you bring Matt Hardy into a company to do, and this was him doing it perfectly. It was the first match. It was the only match I've seen all year that made the best. It actually improved. It was improved by the fact that lockdown had happened. It was born out of lockdown. It could only have existed in lockdown, and lockdown made it better happen, and it made the best out of it. And for the first time since lockdown started, it made me a bit optimistic about the future of wrestling, because obviously the crowds went away and it felt a bit weird for a bit, and no one really knew what was going on. And then this match comes out and everyone's like, oh shit, maybe wrestling can be good under lockdown. Maybe we just need to look at it this way and sort of view it through this lens, and we can all have a good time still. And that was really important, I think.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was definitely needed at the time as well, because it was obviously like well into the first lockdown. It was just like a really nice sort of thing to take your mind off. Troy, do you want to talk about Volta versus Ilya?
No, just go and watch it.
That's all you need
Honestly,
to know.
just go. If you haven't watched it already, if you don't know why this is on there, then the fuck are you playing at? Like, the fact that they had like fucking Drew and Sheamus and other guys from the fucking main roster sitting and watching along and doing commentary with it, and that everyone, like people that don't even watch NXT UK, are talking about this match, should give you every indication and reason as to why it's match of the year. Go and watch it.
The start of this podcast, I was doing the NXT UK review with Troy and Jay, and I got very bored of watching it every week, because it was always, for me, it was a bit lackluster. But as soon as they said this match was absolutely fantastic, it was half an hour of just hard hitting. I was like, all right, I'll watch it. Like, so watched it, and we have a saying of "oh you bastard," and I think I said it about 20 times during this match.
Yeah, at least. It's a fantastic match, really good. Aaron, tell us about the Firefly Funhouse match.
Basically, the lockdown happened. They were struggling on what to do for WrestleMania. The Fiend didn't have much going. He's just been squished by Goldberg a month ago. What shall we do? Bring in the biggest name possible. Make him feel relevant again. John Cena. Look back at their history. Look back at their history. What can we talk about in this match? Make this cinematic as fuck. Spooky as fuck. It was like a hallucination of just...
Like an acid trip.
It was no one knew what to expect going into that.
This was the first cinematic match of the two, because you had the Boneyard match as well the night after.
No, Boneyard was first.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Boneyard was
This was the second one, and to me, this was the better one. That's a very controversial thing to say, but this is the better one of the two on the two nights. Just a lot happened, a lot of references, just like the Stadium Stampede match for AEW. Just you have to watch it a few times to really acknowledge what was said in
but it was just all like it was, like you said, it was so thick with detail, and it was a deconstruction of John Cena's whole career, and it was almost like if you look at it in like kayfabe, it was almost like Bray going backwards and like unmaking Cena.
I love the fact that the whole thing about it as well was Bray basically right in the wrong, because everyone said Bray should have won at 30.
Well, his whole point was, you're not the hero, John. You're the villain. You're the bully.
Yeah.
The guy who puts himself above others, and then it's what all the fans have been saying. Like, all the fans are fed up that he always wins, and they just wish that he'd like put someone else over, or like, you know, give someone else the rub. And like Bray literally voiced that through a promo and through a cinematic match, and like the Saturday Night Main Event and the NWO segment alone were some of the best things I've seen.
Johnny Large meat. Yeah, like 30, like that was the first like real sort of roadblock Bray got.
Yeah,
building the character. Very good choice. So I think it's the match I've watched the most this year.
Same for me. I've watched it at least 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, that or Ilya vs. Volta are the two matches I've watched the most this year. For anyone who's keeping track. My pick was FTR vs. the Young Bucks, a match 5 years in the making. There was a lot of concern as to whether it would live up to the hype, and I think it more than delivered. It was a love letter to tag team wrestling. There was so many cool spots where they were doing like tag team finishes of different teams. So like FTR were doing the Steiners and somebody else, I can't think of.
Didn't they do DIY's finisher?
That's the one, DIY. Why the fuck did I forget that?
The corner.
Yeah, Bucks did the Hardy Boys, Twist of Fate, Swanton Bomb, and the 3D. And basically the story was that for anyone who says the Young Bucks don't sell, any idiots who would say that, well, they did a fucking lot of it in this match. Matt was like dealing with an ankle injury in the match, kayfabe, and basically FTR worked over the ankle. They did like loads of leg locks. He was selling his ass off with that. The finish was basically Dash eventually going for the one thing that he said he wouldn't do, which was a flip. He did like a springboard 450 splash, which was amazing. And missed, and then Matt just super kicked him and got the pin. Phenomenal match. As I say, more than lived up to the hype. And my favourite match of the year. I just loved it. It was, as someone who loves tag team wrestling.
It's good.
This was
exceptional.
Probably the closest one out of all of them.
The whole all the categories?
I think.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'd say so.
Go on then. Give it to us.
Funhouse match got 7%.
I did not agree with that.
Wow.
Well, you probably won't agree with this either. Stadium Stampede got 22%.
Trash.
FTR and the Bucks got 32%. And Volta and Ilya got 39%.
Fucking hell.
So very
close. He got his first one.
As I said as well, in the comments, a lot of people were saying, why didn't you say this match? Mainly about Hangman and Kenny versus the Bucks. We definitely had it on our lists. It was just we had to narrow it down to one pick each. Next, we'll go to Best Tag Team. So I had FTR. Aaron had Hangman and Kenny. Big Tasty had the Young Bucks, and Trey had the New Day. I'll go with FTR. They're just fucking great. They went from barely wrestling to showing up in AEW, winning the tag belts, and just like beating teams and having consistently good matches with pretty much like every team. Like
elevating what was
when
already
they
a phenomenal
joined, yeah, and when they joined AEW as well, there was like literally like a list of dream matches for them to have in AEW, and I think they've like barely scratched the surface with that, and they're really like. There's still like loads of like potential matches, like against Proud and Powerful is the one that stands out for me. But yeah, they did the open challenge with the tag team titles. They've just killed it all year, as far as I'm concerned. They've been really good.
And now they're going to run through the roster again, all the way back to the top to challenge the Bucks again, which is going to be great.
Yeah. So why did you go for the Bucks?
Why did I go for the Bucks? Well, if you look at our match of the year candidates, 2 of the match of our 4 picks have the Young Bucks in them, as do our most prominent honorable mention. So, you know, if you want to talk about people who put on fantastic matches, they're responsible for my favourite match of all time, which is Young Bucks v the Gold Lovers. I just think, and they've sort of birthed so what's become an AEW staple over the last year, which is the Young Bucks fast-paced tag match opener, which is legit my favourite thing about Dynamite. So it's show starts, and all of a sudden the Bucks are just exploding all over your screen, all over the place, and you get 20 minutes of fast-paced tag team wrestling, and for the next 2 hours you're just locked in and you're having a great time.
Yeah.
And they can do that effortlessly. They can do that 5 nights a week effortlessly. Things that most people can never.
The Bucks are one of two tag teams in the world that have rekindled my love for tag team wrestling. It's them and Phoenix and Pentagon. It's
not the New Day, no.
Super, like watching some of their matches, but the Bucks are nuts. Like we just said about the match of FTR was unreal.
Yeah, and they are true like scholars of tag team wrestling, as they've proven with their references and their sort of ability to incorporate other teams' moves into their movesets flawlessly. You know, they'll hit Poetry in Motion, they'll hit a Twist of Fate, a Whisper in the Wind, they'll hit a Doomsday Device on the apron because they're fucking idiots.
Because they're mental.
And then Nick Jackson's the best tag in the world right now as well.
Yeah,
sweet.
So
yeah, it's true. Troy, why did you have the New Day?
Because you fuckers all picked someone from AEW, didn't you?
Because AEW has the elite tag team division. Sorry, Troy, but it's true.
You could have gone to Rose and made it a clean sweep, but
to be fair, AEW WWE's tag division this year has been grossly misused.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not that the tag teams in their division are bad; they're just booked poorly. Because Vince,
or they're constantly getting split apart and put back together.
on the rare occasions when they're allowed to do something, when they're allowed to show it off. So, for example, New Day against the Hurt Business from 3-4 weeks ago was really going to surprise a lot of people. New Day are just a consistently good tag team. Like, they're entertaining, like they're hilarious on the microphone. They're so tuned into pop culture and references and stuff like that. Their ring gear, their attire, just everything about that. Then in ring, both more than capable. Like, and I'm talking about New Day, just Kofi and Woods. Obviously, they're split away sort of thing.
They gave us one of the most emotional moments of the year when they were split away from Big E as well, which was they're just consistently a very good and entertaining tag team, and the standouts in WWE for the benchmark, if you like, them and the Usos, the benchmarks for kind of tag team in WWE at the moment. Yeah, and considering like in AEW, tag teams are allowed to roam wild and free and are given all the pastures of the land. You know, the New Day feed on scraps and they still provide, you know, exceptional tag team entertainment. So
cool.
And Aaron, why did you have Hangman and Kenny?
Well, again, it's in like against the Young Bucks at Revolution, obviously, and then just throughout the year against FTR as well. Against FTR. That's how they won the title.
Lost the belt to FTR.
Yeah. Just throughout the year, it was a tag team we didn't think we wanted until the Cruise recordings in January. And then it happened. They won the belts. And now they're split up now. We've got the whole Kenny being champion and Hangman slowly, but surely he's the one taking it off Kenny at some point next year.
The slow build the fuck out of that, aren't they?
Like, it's going to be a massive pop when it happens. Just the whole build up of.
It's so weird as well because like normally you break up a team to like fuel a storyline, but it's almost like AEW put together a team to fuel a storyline for this one.
To try make everyone forget about it is what they're going for. It's I can't wait.
Yeah. So this one was close again. Bucks had 13%, New Day had 14%, FTR at 30%, and Hangman and Omega at 43%. I was quite surprised by that.
Bloody hell. I thought
We have to point out as well that FTR were literally ranked the PWI top tag team of the year. So, you know.
I think Hangman and Kenny were like third or fourth, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
So next we had the worst female wrestler. Now this isn't us saying they're a bad wrestler.
Well,
I mean,
for all of them.
It's
true.
It's what I'm saying.
It's just, so
it might not necessarily. We will quantify it with our.
Right. I'll go first. Natalia.
Let me read them out, mate.
Dog shite.
All right. Well, Aaron had Natalia. There's a pick. I had Nia Jax. What's there to say? She's fucking dangerous.
She injures most
Big
guys.
Tasty had Reba/Rebel.
Yeah, if you want to talk about like the most wrestlers nearly dropped on their head by someone, then I think Reba's right up there. So I mean, I know her gimmick is kind of like she's a bit shit, but it doesn't mean she has to be like a nearly dangerous shit. You know.
Yeah, and Troy had Billy Kay.
she's just a bit rubbish. They should have kept them together as the Iconics.
She's good, but what they're doing with it at the moment is a bit point.
Yeah.
It's almost like you shouldn't break tag teams up without a plan in place for both of them, really, isn't it?
Yeah. They're both better in a team than they are on their own, I think. So this was a fucking landslide. Natalia and Billy Kay got 4% each. Rebel got 20%.
Oh, yeah,
got 72%.
Fucking hell.
I mean, to be fair, to Nia Jax, she did create the man, which is the best thing she's ever done, was break Becky Lynch's nose. So, you know.
Yeah.
That was last year, though. It doesn't count.
Sometimes out of tragedy comes opportunity.
That was 2019. It didn't happen this year. It does not count.
2018, actually.
2018, there you go.
Anyway, let's get to worst male wrestler. I had Jackson Riker. He's a blade. Fuck him.
He can just absolutely get...
The C's over there, pal. Aaron had Goldberg. I think we've already all touched on that a lot.
He's one most overrated. You may as well just give him the worst male at the same time.
Well, all your horses there. Big Tasty had Madman Fulton from Impact Wrestling.
I didn't know.
I had Madman Fulton.
Oh, sorry.
It's a swerve, Jay. It's a swerve.
He's just shit,
I
isn't
thought
he?
the way I was writing it. Yeah, he's not great. He's the shit member of Sanity. They replaced him with Damo.
Yeah.
And Big Tasty had Otis, who at time recording has just squashed Shinsuke Nakamura on SmackDown.
He ruined Money in the Bank, and he's a bit too Eugene for my liking.
This was another landslide. Fulton got 8%, Riker got 16%, Otis got 16%, Goldberg got 60%.
Can we just say though, out of all of those four, Jackson Riker is easily the worst person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we included the other one that we have, which was Blurt of the Year, he'd have won that 100%.
Like, the other three were just
was
badly
a lot.
booked necessarily, or like badly positioned. Jackson Riker was a terrible human being.
Just an awful, awful human being.
Yeah. We've got two more to go. We've got best women's wrestler and best men's wrestler. So we'll do women's first. Aaron had Hikaru Shida. Big Tasty had Nyla Rose. I had Io Shirai, and Troy had Rhea Ripley. Why do you have Shida, Aaron?
Because she's carried that AEW women's division all year.
Yes.
She's carried it herself. Like, Nyla Rose has been there, but she's not quite. Abaddon's starting to come up. Basically, all our challengers come up for so long, but then it's like they're just there just to fill in, whereas Sheeta's been a consistent. She never had a bad match. She's put in a lot of dedication to be with AEW all year, moving to America and learning English like constantly and things. Like, she deserves this award. This is the one I want to win the most.
What? Not even Dolph?
Okay.
No, this one, Sheeta deserves it. She's so
yeah, she was definitely like one of AEW's stars of like when they were doing the lockdown shows in QT Marshall's wrestling school. Would 100% agree with you there. Big Tasty, why do you have Nyla?
Similar reasons to Aaron, really. I think she's done great things in the women's division this year. She put on 2 fantastic matches with Sheeta, probably the 2 best women's matches AEW. I mean, AEW's women's division has not been in a great spot for the majority of the year. I think Nyla and Hikaru Shida have been the 2 bright spots most prominently. You probably make it out for Britt as well, but she's still a bit on the greener side. Nyla is in a division that's lacking solid workers who can put on really good matches. I think Nyla is something different. It's also worth noting, fantastically, that she was the first transgender women's champion in a major promotion, which was a great achievement. She's really good. She's just really entertaining. She does a lot of streaming online as well. She's really funny. She's terrible. She's
a really good talker.
Yeah. She's scary good at Among Us. She kills everyone. It's ridiculous. She's a great talker. She's
as good as Nyla Rose is the killer.
She's partnered up with Vicky Guerrero now, so she's got like an evil soccer mom mouthpiece, which is great because they are like totally opposite. Like Nyla Rose, this like legit killer, and Vicky Guerrero is this like evil Karen who wants to talk to the manager, and it's a really good dynamic. She's just. I mean, her reign wasn't her title reign was a bit here and there, a bit stop-start that didn't quite. It fell victim to like other prominent feuds sort of taking precedent over it.
When she lost it to Sheeta, that was like that's quite the shock. When Sheeta actually took the belt off her. I
thought they were going to give her a longer reign, but I think a next one will probably be a lot longer.
Her match with Sheeta, where she dropped the belt, was phenomenal. Though it was legit the best women's match
it was really good
in the history. I just think she's really good. She's breaking boundaries and she's showing us all what she can do, which is fantastic.
Cool choice.
I went for Io Shirai because she's been NXT Women's Champion for most of the year. She's had some really good matches with the likes of Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Shotzi Blackheart, as Troy mentioned before. And she's had some cool moments as well, like obviously in War Games where she put the bin over her head and like dived on everyone.
That was awesome.
And getting powerbombed through the ladder at the end. She's just brilliant. She's just like consistently having good matches. I really, really enjoy watching it. And her entrance music absolutely slaps. Troy, you had Rhea.
Speaking of entrance music, Rhea Ripley's entrance music.
Oh yeah,
banger as well. In a women's division, NXT women's division, which is the best women's division in the world. It's stacked. She, for me, is a standout. She was robbed at WrestleMania, and they should never have put the belt on Charlotte. She's fucking excellent. And we were saying earlier on about one of those people where you don't want to see them get pushed up to the main roster. She's one of those people where they need to just keep her in NXT unless they put her up and they turn her into another Charlotte and they overbook her and everyone hates her. Keep her in NXT. She's fucking excellent. She's one of few, I don't want to say big women, but the bigger, heavyweight.
She's a powerhouse.
A powerhouse, exactly.
She's one of Triple H's favourites, and quite rightly so, because she's been there for 4 years now? Because she was in the first Mae Young
Classic.
Yeah.
Completely changed.
She's only like 23, 24 as well, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's ridiculously young. She's
young. Like I say, in a women's division that's absolutely stacked, she stands out. And there could have been 3 or 4 other women from NXT in this. Io Shirai already been mentioned. So, yeah, for me, Rhea Ripley is the standout there.
Yeah. Well, this was a very close one as well.
I was going to say, this one would be a bit...
The first one where one pick got nil point. Nyla Rose got 0%.
Wow.
Which I think's a fucking travesty. Nyla's had a great year.
That's not on. Jesus.
But she did have some stiff competition. Rhea Ripley got 27%. Hikaru Shida got 29%.
Oh.
And Io got 44%.
I mean, fair play.
Fair play.
Fair play.
If any of those 4 had won it, though, to be fair, I think it would have been justified. And finally, we got to Men's Wrestler of the Year. So I had the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion. I spoke about Roman at length throughout this, so he's just great, isn't he? He's fucking brilliant. Definitely worthy. Aaron, you had Kenneth Omega.
The Omega list of Kenny's. Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Kenneth of Omega.
Do you want to tell us why?
Well, it's sort of a bit shite how Troy's went most overrated, and I went, yeah, he's the best male. Yep, totally doing it. Obviously, Tag Team of the Year and awards. He's won Tag Team of the Year already with Hangman. He's been on the best event of the year. He's just stand out consistently throughout the year. He's always there. Not even in the main event. He's always been just him and Hangman, him and the Bucks, him and Pac at the start of the year as well.
Yeah.
Just
that match with Pac.
Throughout the year, he's always doing something, and he's never even in the main event until very recently with Moxley. So
yeah, I think his rise to like the title was definitely one of the best stories AEW done all year. Where
it felt
like,
organic as well.
Like,
it didn't feel like he was over pushed or anything.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
He said from the beginning he didn't want to be.
Slowly seeing him sort of like losing it a bit and deciding he wants to be on his own.
He said from the beginning of AEW he didn't want to be the biggest star because he's Kenny Omega.
Oh, that's
he
hard.
wanted to.
As soon as he's on the fucking board of the company,
he wanted to build his character up and slowly and surely work his way up, and he has.
Best thing about
and now
his
he's AEW World Champion, getting Impact Wrestling.
Thing is, Troy.
Best thing about his
followers in the
world is his video game inspired ring outfit. That's it. Fuck off.
Troy. The thing about Kenny is, and Macho Man has explained this several times, is the cream rises to the top.
Well, the fucking cream sour, mate. So move on.
You want to talk about sour
Troy,
cream? Troy, tell us about Randy Orton.
Randall Keith. Randall Keith. No.
The only time I got sick of seeing Drew is when he was with Randy.
I think Randy's had some really fucking good stuff that he's done with the Fiend's been really good. Everything Drew is really good.
I think he's had his best year in WWE, to be honest.
Yeah. They may have had one match too many, him and Drew, but they were still good. And then
he spoiled Drew McIntyre for me.
A little bit, yeah. But everything at the start of the year with Edge was good. His promos have been fucking superb. I don't get bored of watching him in the ring anymore. I don't get tired of listening to him. He's one person that has been there consistently for years and years and years. And and I'll use Dolph as an example, but I can use other people. But there's people that have been there as long or maybe a little less that they've just got nothing for. And yes, Randy's always going to be a star. Randy's always going to be near the top. But this year, I feel like he's almost reinvented himself and going that full like legend killer heel thing and reminding a lot of people why he is always positioned as high as he is.
Why we all fell in love with him to begin with as a main eventer.
Special respect to him for, by all accounts, he's turned himself around personally as well and has become a much better person over the last year or so.
No longer taking shit in bags.
Well,
he's no longer putting his hand in his trousers and trying to shake people.
He just seems to be a bit more informed about like big issues and sort of like his whole sort of exploration of Black Lives Matter and his discovery that he went on through that seemed to be really quite poignant.
Yeah, he's a good egg nowadays, is Randy.
He's getting better with age.
I'd probably let him buy me a beer now, if I'm being totally honest.
I'm Big Tasty. John Moxley.
John Moxley, I mean, Mr. PWI #1, Mr. Year-long title reign, Mr. Main Event. You know, he's slayed monsters. He's cut the best promos. He's put people through everything conceivable. You know, he announced his wife was pregnant in an off-the-cuff promo. Like, what an absolute lad!
Casually
drop that in there. Like, oh, you missed it. Awesome.
He appeared
consistently
backstage. He appeared in the background of one of Renee's WWE Zoom calls.
Yeah.
Just as it happens.
Yeah, he came in with a dog.
They're not chasing the dog or something. I think he was chasing a dog or trying to do
Yeah,
something.
his
Yeah.
promos have been great. He's had great matches with Brody, with Lance Archer, with Kenny Omega, Eddie Kingston. You know, he's done it all this year. Someone needed to put during this pandemic period. Someone needed to put AEW on their back and carry them, and that was John Moxley this year.
Fair play.
He got a bigger pop out of 200 to 2,000 people in the stadium than some full stadiums get.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. This was a very, very, very close one.
Oh,
Roman and Randy both got 12% of the vote.
Oh,
AEW! AEW!
So it's between,
It's a victory regardless.
AEW!
it's between Kenny Omega and John Moxley. One of them had 35%, the other had 41%.
Oh!
Aaron looks nervous. The winner is not Kenny Omega, John Moxley, Wrestler of the Year.
I mean, fair play. I mean, it's John fucking Moxley.
Congratulations to the Untitled Wrestling Podcast's 2020 Male Wrestler of the Year, John Moxley. Well done, John. You earned it, mate. You earned it.
And he's already won match of the year and shite, so it's
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I can't wait to do next year's already.
Good. I know. I can't wait to do Wrestle Kingdom next week.
Next year, we might be able to do it all in the same room.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
If you want to talk about how many picks were voted, Troy got match of the year. That's it. Just
That
match
it.
of the year.
right.
He
It's not a
just
bad one
got-
to have. Not a bad
I
one.
mean, that's match of the year.
Actually, I could have got like worst male.
Yeah.
That's like, you've only won a Champions League, nothing else. Just
Big Tasty got most improved, best promo, and best male.
Nice.
Jay got most shocking, most overrated, worst female, and best female. And then I think I just got all the shit ones. So breakout star, best feud, worst event, best event, most underrated, tag team of the year, and worst male.
Get out.
Very much the
Some
league.
good ones there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's been our awards. Where can people find us on the social media, please, Aaron?
Facebook and YouTube at Untitled Wrestling Podcast. And if you go to Twitter and follow us at Untitled Rest Pod, you can see our amazing bants on the Twitters, and you can also follow us singularly too.
Nice.
Singularly.
Singularly.
Singularly. And Troy, where can we go to get some nice beard products?
Thatchface.com. That's thatchface.com. Head over there, get yourself brushes, combs, beard oils, waxes, etc. And if you use the discount code TroyXL85, you'll get yourself 20% off.
And Ben, it's New Year's Eve today at time recording. If I wanted some beer, I couldn't get it today, but where will it go in the new year?
No, you'd have to wait till next year. But if in the year 2021 you want some quality wrestling themed beer, head to topropebrewing.com, and we will, because we're nice like that, we'll even deliver it directly to your door.
Ooh, beauty.
Nice. Well,
You'll have to pay us
thank
for it.
you,
obviously.
everyone.
We'll deliver it.
Yeah. Not
Give us
free.
your fucking money.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the what's been our first year as a thing. We really appreciate the support that everyone's given us. We hope to be bigger and better next year and really kind of like grow everything. We hope you join us for the ride. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Stop what we got drawn in the jam.